So Rudy Giuliani is back in the news, guys, and not just because his son Andrew may be running for mayor of New York. He's back in the news because his lawsuit with Dominion is ramping up, where Dominion is suing him for his lies and misinformation and disinformation about that company and the 2020 election more broadly defined. But Rudy wants you guys to know that he's the victim, that Rudy Giuliani is the real victim here, that it's not American democracy, it's not these companies. Rudy Giuliani is the real victim. Basically, what he's saying is that I never did anything wrong, but that these companies and all of these enemies of Donald Trump and myself were spreading lies about me. I want to read you some reporting. In his Wednesday filing, Rudy Giuliani portrayed himself as a victim, claiming that Dominion made 50 false and defamatory statements about him in his complaint. He also claimed the lawsuit improperly sought exorbitant damages without actually identifying any financial harm it suffered as a result of the lawyer's claim about Dominion. The filing didn't attempt to back up any of Giuliani's wild claims about Dominion, but it suggested he may do so later if the case continues. Should this matter reach legal or factual adjudication on the merits, Giuliani will provide a vigorous and complete response, his lawyer said. So basically, Rudy Giuliani is saying that this company suing him because for months, Rudy Giuliani spread lies about that company. They are the actual aggressors here because it's they who said improper things, false things about Rudy Giuliani in some of their documents. But Rudy Giuliani does nothing to refute their claims. Nothing at all. And basically what Rudy is saying is, I totally have proof, guys, that what I said about this company during the election and after the election, was true, but I'm not going to give it to you yet. I'll only give it to you if this case gets super duper serious. But I just want to underline that Rudy Giuliani is not a victim. Rather, he was one of the most damaging people to American democracy throughout 2020 and the early part of 2021, because it was Rudy, as Donald Trump's personal lawyer and the head of the Trump legal team after the election with Jenna Ellis and Sidney Powell and so many others, that really mainstreamed and sort of quarterbacked the Donald Trump legal strategy, which was effectively to say that through a mixture of these voting companies and Democratic policies and all these sorts of things, the election was effectively taken from Donald Trump and given to Joe Biden. And that everywhere from Georgia to Arizona to Pennsylvania to Michigan, Trump actually won, quote unquote, and Joe Biden didn't. And Rudy Giuliani flew across the country. He got COVID. He farted everywhere. He leaked hair dye everywhere, making these arguments, making a clear argument without evidence ever that Donald Trump was still rightfully the occupant of the White House and that Joe Biden, didn't actually win the election. There's no evidence to Giuliani's claims. And now he wants to make himself the victim. But if it wasn't for people like Giuliani and Sidney Powell and many others that gave Donald Trump so much credibility and, went on the media and used their legal credentials to make it look like Donald Trump had an argument, his case wouldn't have been as strong. And so while you may give the ultimate responsibility to the lies for Donald Trump, and reasonably so, right on that second tier are people like Rudy Giuliani, who were the facilitators of the Trump lies, of the big lie that continue to infect American democracy now. It's not as if after January 20th, it all went away. It's not as if we all woke up on January 21 and all the Trumpers instantly started to respect Biden as president, because it didn't happen like that. Giuliani created the context and helped to create the context that has ruined large swaths of the public and their view towards the democracy. And that's why you're seeing all of these awful voting laws, because people like Giuliani gave Republicans this rabid sense that they were being cheated and they needed to, rig the system even harder against the Democrats in 2022 and in 2024. And while doing this, never forget that we're not actually sure how much Rudy got paid or if he got paid at all. There was a lot of fights between him and Trump about that, but he was asking for $20,000 a day, and he was using his YouTube show and his podcasts and his interviews to sell gold and to sell all sorts of sponsorships and basically make money off the lies. Rudy is not a victim. He is one of the biggest villains in modern American politics. Don't let anyone forget that. Because while the election is over, the consequences of the lies during that election have only really started to manifest.